what I'm going to be talking about today is ideas for content localization and how we can make things as relevant as possible for our students. At code.org, our vision is that every student in every school has the opportunity to learn computer science. Very similar to the vision that Microbit has, as well as many of the different organizations working in this space. The particular component of it, at code.org, we create curriculum and do a bunch of other things, but the specific piece I want to focus on as we think about every student is the kind of the localization of the content. Because if you only can use the content that's available in your language or that's built specifically for your country, that really limits what you're able to use. And so I want to talk about some strategies for opening that up so that you have access to even more content that's being developed all over the world. So I'm going to give a little bit of an example based on what we do at code.org, but this applies to, like I said, lots of different organizations around the world, right? So the first step is around, translations and subtitles. This is the kind of the obvious first step that a lot of organizations take. And so this is all of the content that you see on the platform, whether it's the teacher-facing lesson plans, the student-facing content, subtitles in the videos, all of that content being translated. That's really important, but that's certainly not sufficient, right? We need to go beyond that. So the next step that we try to do is we dub our videos into different languages, and this is work that we are taking on right now. But again, still, the text on the screen may not be translated, or the voice doesn't match what you're seeing, as the lips move on the screen, and so not the ideal experience. And so really, what we try to do is we're starting a process of reshooting these videos with local, people who can be role models for students. And so we've started this as a pilot project in France, and we're doing this in lots of other languages in the future as well. To give you, one example, this is what it looks like when we do the translation of the in-video text and the dubbing. So here's an example in France. So it's the same, it's a person speaking English, but at least you can read the blocks that are being displayed to you in the video. But really what we want to get to is what you see here on the right, which is where it is someone, for this, for example, is an employee of Amazon in France, who can talk to students about, what it's like doing the work that they do in their native language. And so it can be as smooth as a process as possible as students learn. And then, there's lots of areas where we can go beyond this. So for example, here's, we've completely flipped the view of our site, right? Normally the toolbox is on the left and the coding space is on the right. But for right to left languages like Arabic, as you see here, we've flipped that. And we even work with some partners who change the characters in our courses. So for example, this is a partner we worked with in Jordan called Edrock, and they took and put in a different character that students in the local environment would recognize. So really excited to see that. And then some quick tips for teachers. You may not be able to translate a full course, but you can change the examples that are being given in the content, right? So if it seems like it's a very US-centric example and you're outside of the US, don't hesitate to change that. Mix and match what you're doing by bringing in, like pairing Microbit with code.org, for example. A lot of people do that. So don't feel like you have to just use one. You have to use a full thing. You can take pieces from different parts and mix them together. And then you can also reorder the lessons. And this is an example from an organization we work with in Thailand, and the government agency who built this Coding Thailand initiative. And they've taken, these are elements of our courses that they've put in different orders to match the local education standards. So that's a great way as well to make it more relevant to your students. And I would be remiss if I didn't say, you can always help translate if that's something that you want to do or able to do. And here's how you can do that with code.org and with Microbit. So again, apologies for the delay, but thank you so much.